A quadratic function can be represented by the formula f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c represent real numbers and a can't be equal to 0. The graph of a quadratic function is called a parabola, and it's basically a U-shaped graph. And there are a couple important characteristics to notice. Because it's a U-shaped graph, there's going to be a point where it bends and kind of makes that U shape. That's called the vertex. And then the U shape, it can point either upward or downward, and so the direction that the graph faces is also pretty important to recognize. And we can recognize these things by analyzing the values of a, b, and c. In particular, the direction is maybe easiest to see. If the value of a is greater than 0, then the parabola is going to open upward, which means that the vertex is going to occur at a bottom point on the graph, which is called a minimum. So the function value, the y value, is going to reach some lowest value at that minimum point. If the value of a is less than 0, then the function is going to open downward and the vertex is going to reach some sort of highest point, which is called a maximum. And so if we have a function that's representing something in the world, it might be very useful to know where that vertex is so that we can identify either the minimum that occurs or the maximum. And one way to see that in the formula is to, by completing the square, we can create what's called the standard form of the quadratic function, which is f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. And so if we have a function in standard form, it's very easy to identify the vertex because the coordinates of the vertex are going to be h and k. So whether it's a maximum or a minimum is determined by the value of a, and in standard form we can see where the vertex is going to have that maximum from h and what the maximum value is by looking at k. So let's take a look at an example. So here we have a quadratic function given to us in standard form, and to identify the vertex we can simply think about what the values of h and k are. Since it's in standard form, we can kind of read those from the formula. Remember, we have to be a little careful because the formula is x minus h squared plus k, and here we have a plus 6, and so because the formula has a minus sign, the value of h is actually going to be negative 6. The value for k is a little more straightforward. It's going to be positive 2. Since a is equal to negative 2, which is less than 0, I know the graph is going to face downward. And now to create a quick sketch of the graph, we can simply plot the vertex, negative 6, 2, and then since it opens downward, we can make a U-shaped graph that opens downward. And we could plug a few more x values in and find corresponding y values to create a better graph and a more detailed graph. But it's often enough just to find the vertex and the direction of the graph to get a general sense of what the function looks like. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.